Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." Now pause and let that sink in. How many times has your peace been hijacked by things far outside your control? A rude comment on social media, someone cutting you off in traffic, a broken promise from a friend, or just one of those unfair moments life loves to throw at us. We explode, we sulk, we spiral all because we let someone else press our buttons. But here's the Stoic twist. Nothing has the power to disturb you unless you grant it permission. Anger doesn't punish them, it poisons you. Marcus knew that true strength is not about controlling others, but mastering yourself. And that's exactly what we'll explore today. 8 timeless Stoic rules, simple, practical, powerful, that will teach you how to destroy anger before it owns you and anchor lasting peace in your daily life. Rule 1. Separate events from judgment, the Stoic power of perception. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This isn't just a pretty line from an emperor's diary, it's a radical reminder. The things that upset us, the things that ruin our days, are not the events themselves. They are the meanings we attach to them. Think about it. The last time someone cut you off in traffic, your chest probably tightened, your blood pressure spiked. But was it really the fact that a car merged in front of you? No, it was the story you told yourself about it. They disrespected me. They endangered me. People are selfish. Now imagine reframing it. What if they were rushing to the hospital? What if they didn't even see you? Suddenly the story changes, and so does your emotional state. Same event, different judgment, entirely different outcome. Psychologists call this cognitive appraisal. In fact, a Stanford study found that people who practiced reframing, what the Stoics called separating events from judgment, reduced their anger levels by up to 50% compared to those who simply reacted. Seneca captured it perfectly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. And it's true. We don't suffer from reality itself. We suffer from the movie our mind plays about it. Take a simple example. Your boss sends an email that says only "see me tomorrow." Your mind spins, am I in trouble? Did I mess up? Am I getting fired? You lose sleep, anxiety builds anger. Bruise. But the next day, the boss just wants your input on a project. The email was neutral. Your judgment created the storm. So how do we practice this Stoic rule in daily life? Step 1, pause before reacting. The moment irritation rises, take 3 deep breaths. That pause creates space between the event and your reaction. Step 2, ask the Stoic question. Am I upset because of what happened or because of the meaning I gave it? That question alone breaks the spell. Step 3, reframe actively. If someone is rude, instead of thinking, "they hate me," try, "maybe they're having a terrible day. Maybe it's not about me at all." And step 4, detach from the story. Remind yourself the event is neutral. The judgment is optional. Here's a simple exercise. At the end of each day, write down one moment that irritated you. Then ask, what story did I attach to this? Rewrite the event in neutral terms. Instead of "my coworker disrespected me by ignoring my idea," write, "My coworker didn't respond to my idea today." That's the bare event. Notice how much lighter it feels when you strip away the judgment. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And Marcus added, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." There's a story of a Stoic philosopher who was once insulted in public. His students waited for him to lash out, but instead he smiled and said, "You only insulted the sound that came from my mouth, not me." He knew the insult itself was neutral. The meaning belonged only to his mind. When you learn to separate events from judgment, you reclaim your freedom. You stop being a puppet of circumstance. You become, as Marcus wrote, an unmoved rock in the storm. So here's your affirmation for Rule 1. Events are neutral. My judgment is optional. Write it down. Say it aloud. Anchor it in your mind. And remember, this is only the beginning. Because once you master separating events from judgment, the next step is even more powerful, expecting human flaws before they even appear. That's Rule 2. Stay with me. Rule 2, expect human flaws. Preparing your mind for imperfection. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, began his mornings with a sobering reminder. He wrote today, The people I deal with will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they do not know good from evil. Think about that. The most powerful man in the world, ruler of Rome, didn't start his day expecting praise, kindness, or gratitude. He started it expecting human flaws. Why? Because expecting perfection is a trap. When you believe everyone will act fairly, wisely, or kindly, you set yourself up for constant disappointment. But if you accept in advance that people are flawed, then when you meet selfishness, betrayal, or rudeness, you are no longer shocked. You are prepared, and you remain calm. Picture this. You're in line at a coffee shop. Someone cuts in front of you. Instantly, your blood boils. How dare they? People are so selfish. And suddenly, your whole morning is poison. Now imagine a Stoic approach. Before you left home, you reminded yourself, today I will meet rude and selfish people. So when it happens, you shrug. Of course, this is what humans do sometimes. Instead of rage, you feel calm. The event loses its sting. That was Marcus Aurelius' secret weapon. By expecting imperfection, he built emotional armor. Modern psychology agrees. Research on expectation management shows that unmet expectations are one of the top drivers of stress and conflict. A Harvard Business Review survey found that 82% of workplace conflicts don't come from real harm, but from clashing expectations. If you go into the world expecting people to always be honest, grateful, or kind, reality will crush you daily. But if you prepare for flaws, you won't be shaken. Seneca put it beautifully. How much better to heal than to seek revenge from injury? Why waste your energy raging at flaws when you could prepare your mind to meet them calmly? Let's bring this down to daily life. At work, a colleague misses a deadline. Instead of thinking they sabotage me, remember, people make mistakes. Correct the problem, but don't collapse into anger. In relationships, a partner forgets an anniversary. Instead of they don't care about me, expect human forgetfulness. Address it calmly, but don't let it poison your peace. On the street, someone yells at you. Instead of they disrespected me, remember Marcus. They act this way because they do not know good from evil. So how do we practice this? Each morning before checking your phone, whisper to yourself, today I will meet people who are rude, selfish, careless, but none of them will control my peace. When insulted, reframe the moment they are acting from ignorance, not wisdom. This small shift reduces anger and even increases compassion. Or try the marketplace exercise. Imagine walking into a crowded market. You expect noise pushing chaos. So when it happens, you're not surprised. Life is the same. Expect flaws and you remain calm when they arrive. The Stoics left us powerful reminders. Marcus said, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with will be troublesome, but none of them can harm me. Seneca wrote, a wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he is not. And Epictetus taught, remember, it is not he who reviles you or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting. There's an old teaching, when a child makes a mistake, we don't scream in shock, we expect it. But with adults, we forget this wisdom. We assume everyone should know better. And when they don't, we explode. The Stoics flip the script. Expect flaws and they lose their power to disturb you. So here's your affirmation for Rule 2. I expect flaws, but I choose peace. Write it down, say it aloud, anchor it in your mind. And tomorrow morning, remind yourself before stepping out, I will meet flawed humans, but none of them will control my calm. Because when you stop expecting perfection, you stop being endlessly upset. And when you are no longer upset, you become unshakable. And this prepares us for the next step. Because once you accept human flaws, the real battle begins not with the world outside, but with the voice inside your own head. That's Rule 3. Stay with me. Rule 3, master the voice in your head. Training the dialogue that shapes your peace. Epictetus once said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Think about that. It's rarely the event itself that hurts us. It's the inner voice that interprets, exaggerates, and replays it on a loop. Someone insults you once, but your mind repeats it 10, 20, 50 times until the echo of the insult hurts more than the insult itself. If you want to be unshakable, you don't need to master the outer world. You need to master the voice inside your head. Imagine this. A stranger mutters something rude in a language you don't understand. Do you get angry? No, because your inner voice doesn't translate it. The words never enter your mental theater. But if the insult comes in your own language, suddenly your mind picks it up, repeats it, and keeps stabbing you with it. Same event, different interpretation. That's the battlefield of the Stoics, not the street, not the palace, but the inner dialogue. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. His meditations weren't letters to others. They were notes to himself, a training ground for his inner voice. Each night he rewrote his thoughts so that tomorrow his mind would serve him, not betray him. And modern science proves he was right. Studies show the average person has over 60,000 thoughts per day, and more than 80% of them are negative or repetitive. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. Left unchecked, your inner voice becomes your enemy. It convinces you that insults are daggers, that problems are disasters, that the future is doomed. But cognitive behavioral therapy, born directly from Stoic wisdom, teaches us we can catch, reframe, and redirect those thoughts. We can train the inner voice to be a wise guide instead of a cruel critic. Here's how it plays out in real life. At work, you miss a deadline. Your inner critic screams, "I always fail, you'll never succeed." But the Stoic voice replies, "I made an error. Next time, I'll prepare earlier." In relationships, a friend cancels plans. Inner critic. "They don't value me." Stoic voice. "They may be busy or struggling. It's not about my worth." Or online, someone mocks you. Inner critic, "Everyone hates me." Stoic voice. "This is one opinion. My value isn't defined by strangers." So how do you train this voice? First, catch the thought. The moment irritation rises, label it. This is judgment, not truth. Second, replace repeat. Instead of replaying the hurt, reframe it. They act according to their nature, not mine. I choose calm. Third, reflect nightly. Like Marcus, take your angry thoughts from the day and rewrite them into Stoic truths. Over time, your mind learns a new language. And finally, test your self-talk. Ask, if I were advising a friend, would I say what I just told myself? If not, rewrite the script. The Stoics left us anchors for this practice. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Marcus warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And Seneca reminded us we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think of your mind as a theater. Thoughts are the actors. If you let angry scripts run freely, they dominate the stage, shouting, exaggerating, cursing. But if you edit the script, if you replace rage with reason, the show changes. Peace takes the spotlight. A University of Michigan study confirmed this. People who practiced reframing negative thoughts for just 2 weeks lowered their cortisol levels, the stress hormone, by 23%. The Stoics didn't have brain scans, but they already knew the truth. Your mind is your greatest pharmacy. So here's your affirmation for Rule 3. My inner voice serves me, not betrays me. Write it down. Say it aloud. Train it daily as Marcus trained his. Because nothing outside you can disturb you unless your own inner dialogue agrees to it. And this sets up our next step. Because once you shape your inner voice, you're ready for the next battlefield, the pause, the space between trigger and response. That's where freedom lives. That's Rule 4. Stay with me. Rule 4, hit the pause button. The power of space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Think about how profound that is. Anger thrives on immediacy. Someone insults you and you snap back. You hit traffic and you explode. You feel betrayed and you lash out. The faster the trigger, the faster the reaction, and the more control you lose. But if you pause, just a breath, just a moment, you rob anger of its power. You step out of reflex and into reason. That's the Stoic pause. Picture yourself in a heated argument. Someone hurls an insult. Your instinct is to fire back louder and harsher, but instead you stop. You breathe. You remember Marcus Aurelius' words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of escalating, you choose silence or a calm reply. The anger that was ready to consume you dissolves because you interrupted the chain reaction. Seneca said it best. The greatest remedy for anger is delay, not revenge, not shouting. Delay. And modern science agrees. The amygdala, your brain's fight or flight alarm, reacts in milliseconds. That's why anger feels instant. But your rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, needs time to catch up. A 2019 study in Nature Human Behavior found that people who practiced response delay, literally pausing before reacting, reduced aggressive responses by 60%. Thousands of years after the Stoics' neuroscience proves them right, pause and you reclaim control. Now, how does this look in real life? Stuck in traffic, instead of honking and cursing, you take 3 breaths and remind yourself, this is outside my control, but my peace is not. At work, you get a harsh email. Instead of firing back, you save it in drafts. The next day, the sting is gone, but clarity remains. At home, a sibling says something cruel. Instead of snapping, you excuse yourself, take a walk, and return calm. That's the power of the pause. Here's how to train it. Breath training, 3 slow breaths every time irritation rises. Mental cue, words like, this is noise, or I will not hand them my peace. The delay rule, never reply to emotional texts or emails right away. And daily micro-pauses, practice with spilled water, a late bus, a loud neighbor. Small pauses build the muscle for life's bigger storms. Think of anger as a wildfire. Instant reaction is gasoline, it spreads. But the pause is water. Every delay cools the flames until they die on their own. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayals, plots, and endless complaints. If he had reacted instantly with rage, Rome itself would have collapsed. Instead, he paused. He thought. He wrote. He chose reason over reaction. That pause didn't just save his peace, it saved an empire. And the data backs it up. Stanford researchers found that people trained in mindful pauses reported 43% fewer conflicts in daily life. Not because the world stopped being rude or unfair, but because they stopped being dragged into the storm. The Stoic pause is not weakness, it's mastery. So here's your affirmation for Rule 4, I pause. I choose, I master myself. Say it slowly, write it down. Practice it the next time life presses your buttons. Because the world expects you to be reactive, yelling, slamming doors, firing back. But when you pause, you prove something radical: you cannot be controlled. And that is freedom. And speaking of freedom, Rule 5 takes us deeper. It shows us how to stop carrying other people's words as if they were chains. That's next. Stay with me. Rule 5, don't take things personally, releasing the chains of other people's words. Epictetus once said, if someone speaks badly of you, remember they do so because they think it right. It is not what is said that matters, but how you receive it. Insults are reflections of the speaker, not the target. When someone calls a diamond worthless, the diamond loses nothing. It still shines. The insult only exposes the ignorance of the one who spoke. And yet, how often do we hand over our peace to the careless words of others? How often do we let someone else's bad mood become our burden? The Stoics remind us, don't take it personally, because their words belong to them, not to you. Picture this. A man walks down the street carrying a bag of garbage. He throws some of it at you. Do you get angry at yourself for being dirty? No, you understand it was his garbage, not your essence. Now imagine the same with insults. People carry emotional garbage. When they throw it at you, why catch it? Why hold it close? Let it fall to the ground where it belongs. Marcus Aurelius put it simply. Whenever someone has done wrong by you, immediately consider what conception of good or evil led them to it. Once you see this, you will pity, not be angry. Psychologists call this externalization. People project their inner pain outward. A Harvard study found that people under high daily stress were 3 times more likely to insult others online. The insult had nothing to do with the target, it was just displaced frustration. By not taking things personally, you practice emotional immunity. You stop absorbing toxins that were never yours to carry. At work, maybe your boss snaps. Instead of thinking, they hate me, remind yourself, this reflects their stress, not my worth. In family life, maybe a relative criticizes your choices. Instead of carrying the wound you see, they speak from their fears, not my truth. And online, when strangers mock you in comments, you can smile. This reveals them, not me. So how do we practice this? Start by redefining insults. Write the phrase, they revealed themselves, not me. Repeat it when attacked. Practice indifference. Epictetus said, choose not to be harmed and you won't be. Next time someone mocks you, try silence. Notice how their words lose power when you don't react. Use visualization, imagine insults as smoke. They pass through you if you don't inhale. And build a morning ritual, their words are theirs. My peace is mine. There's a story of Socrates. A man hurled abuse at him for hours. Socrates listened silently. Later, he was asked why he didn't respond. He said, if someone offers you a gift and you refuse to take it, to whom does the gift belong? To the giver. Words are the same. If you refuse to accept them, they return to the one who spoke them. Modern research backs this up. A 2018 study in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people who practiced cognitive distancing, reminding themselves, this reflects the other person, not me, experienced 35% less anger and recovered 40% faster from insults. Science now proves what the Stoics always knew. Your worth is not up for debate. Your peace is not public property. So here's your affirmation for Rule 5. Their words are theirs, not mine. Write it down. Carry it with you. And the next time someone speaks badly of you, let it echo back to them. Do not catch what was never yours. Because when you no longer take things personally, you become untouchable. And yet anger often lingers not because of others, but because we keep holding it inside. That's why Rule 6 is crucial, learning to drop anger like a burning coal before it burns you. Stay with me. Rule 6. Drop it like it's hot, letting go. Before anger burns, Seneca once warned, anger, if not restrained, is more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Think about that. The insult, the betrayal, the slight, it happens once. But when we replay it, nurse it, keep the wound open, we suffer it 100, even 1,000 times more. Holding on to anger is like gripping a burning coal. You think you're hurting the other person, but the only one scorched is you. The Stoics knew the real secret to peace: let go quickly. Drop it before it burns through your soul. Picture this: two monks are walking together. One helps a woman cross a muddy river. Hours later, the other monk finally bursts out. Why did you touch that woman? The first monk replies calmly, Brother, I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? This is us when we replay insults. The world has already moved on. The offender has already forgotten. But we carry the burden long after the event is gone. Marcus Aurelius captured it perfectly. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you hold on to anger, you mirror the one who wronged you. When you release it, you rise above them. And modern science agrees. A 2019 study in the journal Emotion found that people who held grudges had higher blood pressure and 30% higher cortisol levels than those who practiced forgiveness. Chronic anger is literally toxic. It weakens immunity, clouds decision-making, and even shortens life expectancy. Another study from Stanford showed that practicing a simple letting go visualization reduced anger intensity by over 40% within minutes. Anger is costly. Forgiveness is free medicine. You can see it everywhere. On the road, when someone cuts you off, you carry the rage all day, but the driver's already gone, maybe sipping coffee in peace. At work, when a colleague disrespects you, you replay it at night while they're asleep and you're suffering. Even in relationships, a loved one snaps unfairly. If you cling, it poisons intimacy. If you let go, peace returns. So how do we practice letting go? Start by naming the weight. Say aloud, I am carrying anger. Naming it breaks the illusion that you're powerless. Next, refuse the second wound. The first wound is what they did. The second is what you keep doing by replaying it. Ask yourself, why should I stab myself again for their mistake? Then visualize the release. Close your eyes. Picture the anger as a stone in your hand. Open your palm. Let it fall. Hear it hit the ground. Walk away lighter. And if action is possible, redirect. Fix what you can. If not, move forward. Channel the energy into progress, not poison. Finally, try a daily release ritual. Each night, write down one thing that angered you. Then tear the paper, burn it, or throw it away. A physical act of release. The Stoics knew the truth. He who angers you conquers you. And Marcus reminded us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Anger is not worth the minutes of your life it consumes. There's a story of Nelson Mandela. After 27 years in prison, he walked free. A journalist asked if he hated his captors. Mandela said, when I walked out of that gate, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness behind, I'd still be in prison. That is Stoicism in action. The anger may be justified, but holding it keeps you chained. Letting go sets you free. And research today confirms it. Forgiveness interventions reduce depression by 23%, anxiety by 19%, and boost overall well-being by 30%. The ancients practiced it as philosophy. Today we prove it as psychology. So here's your affirmation for Rule 6. I release anger quickly. I will not carry fire inside me. Write it, say it, practice it. Every time anger rises, picture the burning coal and drop it, because life is short, too short to waste on grudges. And once you learn to release anger, you can take the next step, turning every problem into a teacher. That's Rule 7. Stay with me. Rule 7: turn problems into teachers, transforming obstacles into strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote one of the most profound Stoic lines: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What does that mean? It means life's obstacles are not enemies. They are teachers. Every insult, every betrayal, every failure, every delay, they're not punishments. They are training. If you shift your perspective, you'll see the truth. The very thing that frustrates you is the thing that is shaping you. The stone in your path is not a barrier. It is the path. Picture a blacksmith. He heats the iron hammers, it bends, it breaks, it reforges it. The heat and the blows don't destroy the metal, they shape it into a sword. And we are the same. Life hammers us with obstacles. If we resist, we break. But if we accept, if we learn, we are sharpened. Seneca put it simply: difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Neither does character. And modern psychology proves it. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that people who reframe stress as a challenge rather than a threat showed 23% higher resilience and 31% faster emotional recovery. Another study from the University of Wisconsin found that people with a stress is enhancing mindset lived on average 2 years longer than those who saw stress only as harmful. The Stoics knew it all along. It's not the obstacle itself. It's how you frame it. Think about your own life. You didn't get the promotion. That's not punishment. It's training in patience, humility, or resilience. Someone betrayed you. Painful, yes, but it's a teacher of discernment. Your business collapsed. Not shame. Wisdom earned. The obstacle is always the instructor. So here's how you practice it. When anger rises, ask yourself, what skill is life training me in right now? Patience, endurance, detachment. Write down an obstacle and flip the value. This is not punishment. This is practice. Each evening, review one difficulty and honor the lesson, not the hurt. Keep a resilience journal, track the obstacles you've faced and the virtues they've built. Over time, you'll see your strength in ink. The greats knew this. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. His response: I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. Viktor Frankl, survivor of the Holocaust, wrote, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And modern data agrees. The American Psychological Association reports that people who actively reframe setbacks as growth opportunities report 25% greater life satisfaction and 20% lower levels of chronic anger. Obstacles don't break us, they build us. So here's your affirmation for Rule 7. Every obstacle is my teacher, not my enemy. Say it, write it, live it. The next time life throws a storm at you, don't curse it. Ask, what is this storm teaching me? Because when you turn problems into teachers, anger loses its grip. And once you've learned to do that, you're ready for the final Stoic practice, anchoring yourself in the present moment, where peace is always found. That's Rule 8. Stay with me. Rule 8. Stay right here. Right now, anchoring peace in the present, Seneca once wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about that. Most of our anger doesn't come from what's happening right now. It comes from replaying the past or fearing the future. Someone wronged you yesterday and you carry it into today. You worry about what might happen tomorrow and you poison your peace right now. But the Stoics knew the truth. The present moment is always neutral. It doesn't insult, it doesn't betray, it doesn't frustrate, it simply is. And if you anchor yourself here right now, you become untouchable. Picture yourself at sea. The waves crash, the wind howls, the storm rages. But then the ship drops anchor. Suddenly it holds steady. That anchor is the present moment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, Confine yourself to the present. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not here. All you ever have is this moment. And this moment is always manageable. Science confirms what the Stoics taught. A Harvard study found the average mind wanders 47% of the time, almost half our life spent anywhere but now. And the shocking part, people were less happy when their minds wandered, even when they were daydreaming about good things. Another study showed that practicing daily mindfulness reduced anger reactivity by 57% and boosted calm by up to 40%. Peace really does live in the present. So how do you practice it? Catch your wandering mind. Ask, am I in the past, the future, or the now? Anchor with your senses, notice. Your breath, feel your feet, hear the sounds around you. Ask the now question. What can I do right now? Action replaces rumination. And release the should-haves. Replace they should have with they did. And here I am. Think of a man carrying two heavy buckets, one filled with regrets of the past, the other with fears of the future. No wonder he stumbles. But if he drops both, he can finally walk freely. That's what the Stoics did. They dropped their buckets. That's why they walk steady even in storms. Here's your affirmation for Rule 8. I live in the present, and peace is my anchor. Say it when your mind wanders. Write it where you'll see it. Let it pull you back from storms of memory and worry. Because anger thrives in the shadows of yesterday and tomorrow. But peace lives only in today. And when you master this final rule, living fully in the present, you become unshakable. The world can insult, delay, betray, but your calm remains intact. Marcus Aurelius endured wars, betrayal, and even plague, yet never lost his inner calm. Why? Because true power is mastery over self. Anger is weakness, calm is strength. Now it's your turn. Carry this Stoic affirmation with you. I am untouchable, calm, and at peace. Write it down. Say it daily. And if this message gave you value, drop the affirmation in the comments, share it with someone who needs peace today, and subscribe to Making Life Better for more timeless wisdom to help you master your inner world one thought at a time.